Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. I'm Audrey Russo, President and CEO at the Pittsburgh Technology Council and 40 by 80. The Pittsburgh Technology Council is a membership organization serving the wants and needs of our members, which include companies working in the fields of technology, life sciences, manufacturing, autonomy, and healthcare, as well as those who have a growing workforce with the need of technology skills. And what we hear repeatedly from our members is the lack of talent and the deep interest to diversify their own companies. So the tech sector in southwestern Pennsylvania has grown to include nearly 10,000 local employers, making up 33% of the region's payroll that pump nearly $25 billion into our annual payroll. Average wages have grown to over $104,000 within our region's information technology cluster. But many positions are going unfilled, threatening to derail progress in addition to slow the economic growth. At the Tech Council, we realize that we cannot keep only searching for talent. We need to create it. To support our continued success and growth, we must create inclusive pathways for everyone to participate in these jobs. The Pittsburgh Tech Council and 40 by 80 are very excited to announce the first registered tech apprenticeship in the state of Pennsylvania, Apprenti PGH, focused on women, people of color, veterans, people with disabilities, and displaced workers. So what you're going to learn about today is an employer-driven model that, in the words of PA State Representative Ed Gainey, does not begin and end with training and a shiny certificate of achievement, but instead begins and ends with a job and family-sustaining wages. We have a great briefing plan today to introduce Apprenti PGH to all of you and to discuss the positive impact that it will definitively have across our region. So joining us today, we have Jen Carlson. She is the CEO and co-founder of Apprenti, coming to us all the way from Seattle, Washington. We have Esther Bush, serving for 27 years as the president and CEO of the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh. The story of Apprenti has always been one of partnerships, and as you will hear from Esther about the important role that the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh is going to play in achieving the success of Apprenti PGH. Then we will hear from Susie Puskar. She is our local workforce development agency leader. She is the Chief Program Officer at Partner for Work, who, along with Edgar Largaspada, the Director of Industry Strategy, were one of the first to help us strategize and to develop the plan for Apprenti PGH. We could not have reached this point without their support and their valuable insights. So speaking of partnerships, I cannot say enough about the forward-thinking progress that has been made at the state and federal level, reinforcing and supporting the valuable roles for apprenticeships, and especially non-traditional apprenticeships, how they play in transforming lives and economic prosperity. So 2 members of the Pennsylvania State General Assembly, State Senator Devlin Robinson and State Representative Jake Wheatley, who is joined here today by his Chief of Staff. They are with us to talk about just that. So you will also hear from one of our Apprenti PGH employer partners and member of the board at the Pittsburgh Technology Council, CEO and founder of SDLC Partners, Chris Simchek. And then finally, and certainly not last, we will be hearing from members of our Community Advisory Committee. This is an important group of people who have helped develop strategy to make Apprenti PGH an inclusive pathway to a career in the burgeoning tech sector. There's a significant group of people who have been left out of these opportunities and are not represented. This committee will continue to serve as advisors as we develop our cohort. So without further delay, I am asking Jen Carlson to come up and speak on her program, her vision, Apprenti.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Audrey and the Pittsburgh Technology Council for having us here and including Apprenti in its expansion across the country. This has been an amazing partnership as it's been built, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank not only the Tech Council, but all of the people on staff here for the incredible work that they've done in getting this program ramped up and working with employer partners here locally in the market. I'd also like to thank the organizations that have come together to bring Apprenti to the region beyond the Tech Council. Thank you to the local workforce boards, the employer partners, of which there are many, some of which you'll hear from today, all of the community organizations we met with yesterday to talk about how to do community outreach in a mindful way in order to fill our technology pipeline with the candidates that we're looking for, namely women, underrepresented minorities, veterans, persons with disabilities, and displaced workers. And all of our financial supporters, both in market and out, from the U.S. Department of Labor to the state of Pennsylvania, philanthropy, and the workforce board, who are helping to get this program stood up with employers. We're going to hear from some of those folks later, but thank you also to Jim Reese with the department who's today hearing the standards discussions to get a program underwritten by the state, as this is going to be the first technology program for apprenticeship in the state of Pennsylvania, and we're really proud that that's happening here in Pittsburgh. Registered apprenticeship is a job, first and foremost, and when we talk about a combination of creating an alternative pathway beyond what we're used to seeing for technology jobs, which is higher education, and coming out of the university system, registered apprenticeship creates inherently equity that has been absent not only in the tech sector, but also in our everyday lives, in creating financial equity for a number of populations. Equity in registered apprenticeship comes in the form of creating an open door beyond pedigree that looks at competency and aptitude, and creating another way in for people as companies are looking at this as a different skill set or a different muscle for them to start to exercise, creating new talent and investing in people rather than just consuming talent. And second, it also produces parity in pay within a company, within every role that comes into apprenticeship. Everybody who's taking on the apprenticeship role gets paid the same salary in that role in that company. So there's a kind of a natural level setting that gets to take place in registered apprenticeship. That's a really important conversation point, not only for the tech sector, but in how we scale incomes among diverse populations and get everybody from an economic mobility standpoint to a level where they have a competitive living wage and opportunity at middle skills jobs that didn't necessarily require them to go to college. Many of the companies that we've been talking to here through the Pittsburgh Technology Council have come to the table and are really very forward thinking about how they're looking at skill sets and how they're going to change hiring behavior around those prerequisites and requirements and looking at the skill sets critically. And as we've partnered with the U.S. Department of Labor and now with the state of Pennsylvania's Labor and Industry Department, this is also producing people who are coming out with credentials. And the long-term strategy, not only of this administration, but of previous administrations, has been around getting companies comfortable with a portable skill set, portable across industry sectors as well as state lines, and that the people coming out of it are getting the credential of certified completion of apprenticeship, which means that the industry has defined the competencies and skills required for somebody to be proficient in these jobs. And these jobs are middle skills roles. Data analytics, business intelligence, cybersecurity, software development, cloud administration, the kinds of roles that frankly the industry has been severely taxed in finding talent for, because we've looked for this kind of perfect 4-year college degree, 5 years of experience, when in reality many companies have agreed that perhaps there's a degree of degree inflation that has taken place, and that there are industry recognized certifications that can get people up to speed for these roles, and that they can in then turn fill these roles at a much faster pace, equitably with their peer group, and have a sustainable career that may not include the college degree. And as companies are looking at this from an investment standpoint, the cost of creating that talent, net new talent, or even retraining people from within their organization, really is now on par with the cost of new talent acquisition, or as we do in most cases, we poach from one company to another. So the reality is trying to close the talent gap and the talent that we need domestically by bringing people in our own backyard. Apprenticeship is an all-age experience. There are programs here with PTC that focus on youth and women, but this is an opportunity to put people into registered apprenticeship at 18 and over. The median age nationally in technology apprenticeship is 32, which means we're taking people who already have critical life skills and are porting them into our sector, and companies are seeing high value in the experience that they're bringing to the table. We see this as a great opportunity here in Pittsburgh, and we know that the diversity of companies here who both already have experience working with apprenticeship in other areas of their business, from manufacturing to building and construction trades, but also to high tech, healthcare, financial services. There are industry jobs that can be taken on in the registered apprenticeship area, and that these forward-thinking companies are looking at this as a way to create net new talent. We really appreciate the partnership that we have, and we're looking forward to the growth of Pittsburgh and Western Pennsylvania and all that the promise has to hold here. So with that, I'd like to hand this over now to Esther Bush. Esther is a key player in the regional partnerships here with Apprenti PGH and with all of the work that's been done in getting this program set up. Thank you, Esther.
Hello, I'm Mr. Bush, President and CEO of the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh, and I am elated that the Urban League is one of the community partners for this initiative. Apprenticeship programs have long been viewed as a white man's world. For women and people of color, apprenticeships are hard to come by. The Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh has been working to change that narrative and break down those color barriers. In partnership with the National Urban League, we operate an urban jobs apprenticeship program to not only help with career and job placements, but also to create a pipeline of employable people of color across southwestern Pennsylvania. Our opportunity brokers are our boots on the ground. That is our effort working in the communities where the most underserved and overlooked candidates live. Our opportunity brokers have successfully worked with industries such as engineering, manufacturing, and construction, just to name a few. And we are very excited about adding tech apprenticeship placements to the lineup of possibilities. Technology is one of the fastest growing industries in the state of Pennsylvania, but it continues to suffer a severe diversity problem, especially when it comes to Black Americans in Pittsburgh. African Americans continue to be underrepresented in this industry. For example, only 1% of the local information technology workforce compared to 7% nationally, and I'm even told that the 1% is a result of rounding the numbers up. When tech companies do hire, fewer of the jobs are going to workers of color. The Pittsburgh Tech Council recognizes this and wants to make a change, beginning with recruiting Black men and women for the Apprenti program. By providing paid apprenticeship opportunities, the Apprenti program addresses one of the biggest obstacles faced by most candidates who cannot afford to give up current wage earnings in order to train for more sustainable wage employment. This partnership supports one of the pillars of the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh's One Pittsburgh Now strategic vision for the region. Our goal is to move Black Pittsburgh from unemployment and underemployment to household sustaining employment and satisfying careers. With forward-thinking partners like the Pittsburgh Tech Council and strong programs like Apprenti, we are confident that we can change the picture for Black Pittsburgh. Next, please welcome Susan Piscar. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Audrey and the Pittsburgh Technology Council, Jen and Apprenti, Esther and the Urban League for having us here today to celebrate the launch of another employer-driven program in the Pittsburgh region. My name is Susie Pushkar. I'm the Chief Program Officer with Partner for Work. We're the Workforce Development Board for Allegheny County and the City of Pittsburgh. We connect funding, expertise, and opportunities to develop a thriving workforce in our region. Our partnerships throughout the region serve three equally important groups. We partner with businesses to source and train the talent needed to grow the region's economy. We partner with job seekers to break down barriers and open doors to opportunity for careers in growing industries. And we partner with local elected officials and community organizations to make an impact in our communities, to reach people where they are and to set them on a path for a promising future. Through Partner for Work's Technology Industry Partnership, we have proudly collaborated with the Pittsburgh Tech Council and 40 by 80's amazing team over the last 18 months to deepen our shared understanding of the workforce development needs in the tech sector, explore innovative ways through which to grow the tech talent pool, expand greater diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts to make sure that our solutions build a future for all of Pittsburgh. Apprenticeships represent a positive disruption in a modern career pathway, and tech careers are a prime example of a space primed for this kind of model. We commend the Pittsburgh Tech Council and 40 by 80 for their innovative approach in bringing the Apprenti model to Pittsburgh. By combining formal classroom instruction and paid on-the-job learning, apprenticeships support systemic change. They do this by offering opportunities to people who are either new to the workforce or typically underrepresented in the industry or occupation. The recent inclusion of tech-based programs as apprenticeships across the country is a major step forward for the industry, and we're proud to bring it here to Pittsburgh. Tech careers are a non-traditional sector for apprenticeship, but in the expanded sector of tech, the apprenticeship model works because it includes occupations with deep but narrow skill sets that make them suitable for earn while you learn models. We hope to provide lanes of opportunity for underrepresented populations in our community to create quality training in high growth sectors. This includes not just employment, but long-term careers that are high paying and sustainable. For employers, we seek to collaborate and support them to expand the talent pool of qualified candidates and the workforce so they can grow while keeping our region highly competitive. Therefore, we are excited to partner with the Pittsburgh Technology Council and 40 by 80 to invest in Apprenti Pittsburgh. We encourage our regional businesses with tech talent needs to learn more about Apprenti Pittsburgh and how it can support local businesses. Please join us as we continue to work toward building a stronger, more inclusive local workforce. Thank you again for having Partner for Work here today. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce Pennsylvania State Senator Devlin Robinson, who's joining us remotely.
Thank you for the opportunity to join you today. It's a busy time of year in Harrisburg with the budget, and I'm sorry I couldn't join you in person. Today's announcement of Apprenti Pittsburgh is another exciting opportunity for our region. 40 years ago, as the steel mills began to cool, this was a region that pundits and economists wrote off. These people were on the outside looking in. And from that perspective, what they saw mirrored what they had seen in Detroit and other industrial cities where major employers were shuttered, leaving a devastated city and people in their wake. They assumed that Pittsburgh was destined for a similar rusty fate. For decades, dedicated leaders, many of whom are here with us today, work to remake this city into a hub for technology, healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and software industries. The Pittsburgh region is affordable for living and for corporate headquarters. We have a wealth of institutional memory where people here know how to run corporations and what it means to be a powerhouse in business. Those people that counted Pittsburgh out did not understand the kind of people that call Western Pennsylvania home. The Pittsburgh region has a critical mass of talent and employers needed to find success. Some would even say it is in our DNA. For generations, our friends and neighbors have worked hard for their successes. As the city remade itself, these same people were willing to train and be retrained. All they need is opportunity. That's what makes today's announcement of Apprenti Pittsburgh so exciting. This program will partner with the technology community to provide those opportunities by training and developing apprentices to meet the needs of the local technology employers. The program is available to anyone who wants to open the door to a new future. As a veteran, I would like to take a moment to specifically appeal to veterans who are looking toward a tomorrow outside of their military service. Through a technology-focused apprenticeship, our area's veterans will have a straightforward, step-by-step path toward a well-paying career in technology. The program is of no cost to veterans, and most leave and start jobs that pay between $70,000 and $80,000 a year. In other areas where Apprenti is operating, more than 40% of those apprentices are veterans. It is a valuable opportunity for our veterans to find meaningful work once they have completed their service to our country. We are a blue-collar town that is now a source of innovation. Apprenti Pittsburgh is just the kind of innovative thinking that we need to tap into the wealth of talented and hardworking people in our region and provide them with the opportunity to succeed. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to give my remarks today.
So thank you, Senator. Now to introduce from Representative Jake Wheatley's office, we have the Chief of Staff, Leonard Hammond, who is joining us now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Leonard Hammonds, Chief of Staff for State Representative Jake Wheatley, who unfortunately could not be here today because of his duties this week at the state capitol. However, he believed what is being announced here today was too important to miss this opportunity to be a part of it. With the vision of the Tech Council and its leadership, this first of a kind national model for workforce development that actually leads folks to jobs within the technology industry is well overdue here in our region. We are excited to work with everyone to show the success that we all know that it will be. The fact that the model will provide resources during this apprenticeship and actively work with each participant to collect to a career after the apprenticeship is exactly the model we believe is necessary to continue breaking down any systemic or individual barriers to entry into this industry. Thank you to Audrey of the Pittsburgh Technology Council and staff, and to the Commonwealth for this tremendous opportunity for our citizens in this region. Thank you.
Thank you, Leonard. Thank you for speaking on behalf of Representative Wheatley. He has been a dear friend to the tech community and hugely supportive as we move ahead. Thank you for making the time for us. And now it is my pleasure to invite Chris Simchek. He is the CEO and founder of SDLC Partners. Thank you for joining us. You're on mute. Okay, let's get him off mute. Okay, there you go.
Great. Thank you, Audrey. My name is Chris Simchek, founder and CEO of SDLC Partners. And thanks for allowing a few minutes of time just to speak about this important initiative, which everyone has heard from the prior speakers is critical to building diverse talent and solutions in our region. SDLC Partners, since our foundation in 2004, has been a big supporter of growing technology talent in the region and in the state. And we've benefited from the ecosystem that the Pittsburgh Technology Council, as well as the state representatives, have put together to ensure the long-term success of our region. As one of the larger consulting firms in the region, we see firsthand the talent challenges and the opportunities that a program like Apprenti can help address. We thirst for a more diverse set of views and talents to help us drive innovation, solution creation, and outcomes in the work we do for our clients. We believe at SDLC that a program like Apprenti, with the right effort, the right support, funding, can be an integral part of a long-term solution. As a result, at SDLC, we were eager to be an early supporter and sponsor of this program. What is unique about this effort, in my opinion, is that this program is aimed at creating a sustainable structure as a long bet for our industry, our sector, and our region with short-term results. And rarely do those two concepts have the opportunity to coexist. Our collective call to action cannot end with this webcast and with just words of encouragement from this session. We need real action. Action from many other employers in the region to jump in with us so that this program has the right foundation for long-term impact and success. SDLC every day is spreading the word to every one of our clients that they need to jump in and participate in this solution. And we're seeing immediate action from many of them. They're excited about the opportunities that this program represents for them, for the people of our community, and for our region. It's my personal belief that this program is going to expand extremely quickly, and you better get on the train to support it. In closing, and as a long-term PTC board member, and on behalf of the executive committee of the board and the complete board, I'd like to thank the team that has worked really hard to get this important initiative off the ground and stood up. It's not without tremendous effort that has gone into this process and many months worth of planning and action and execution. I'd also like to share with you that we have great alignment around the fact that this program is one way in which we can continue to deliver on the PTC mission to provide greater access, rich opportunities for individuals and companies that make up our tech ecosystem. I'm pleased to say that the board has taken this effort as a call to action, and we certainly are encouraged about the future of this initiative. Thank you.
So thank you, Chris. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for representing the entire board, as well as your commitment to the program and guidance. So now, as I mentioned earlier, over the past 6 months, we've pulled together an advisory committee that they guide us. They guide us as we create the framework for Apprenti PGH. I would like to welcome just 2 of the committee members to answer some questions about the program. And we have 2 individuals, Clay Green. He is the Chief Executive Officer of a company called Tech Blue. And we have Haley Maddox Daniels. She is the Technology CAO at BNY Mellon. So first of all, thank you so much for joining us today, both of you. And now what I want to jump in and just, ask a couple of questions. I'm going to start with Clay. So again, Clay, thank you for joining us today. But very simply,
Likewise.
do you see a need, Clay, for Apprenti PGH? And will this model create a more robust and inclusive talent pipeline in technology?
Yes, I believe so. Let me first check. You can hear me, correct?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I do. There's, my perspectives are not only the professional side of things, but also the social side of things. And I think that we all have seen enough over the last year, even longer than that for some of us, but some of us are seeing things for the first time over the last year, that it takes a diversity of people to affect change. And I believe that what we're seeing with Apprenti is an organization that is stepping forward and being willing to be a vocal and out front proponent in that diversity of people. And that's really what's been missing, I think, over the last, we can go back 50 years, but certainly over the last 5 years, especially with the momentum that's been being gained, there's really not a lot of organizations that are willing to step up and be a loud proponent of that diversity. And I see Apprenti doing that. So I'm glad to see it happen.
So thank you. Thank you for your support on that. I'm going to jump right now to Haley Maddox-Daniels. So Haley, from your role at BNY Mellon, what value do you see the Apprenti PGH bringing, both on the side of the employer, and for women seeking a career in tech?
Absolutely. When I think of Apprenti, I think of two main things: opportunity and education. The obvious opportunity that you spoke to earlier, where employees can embrace the diverse talent that they're looking for, and employers have the opportunity to do that. The obvious educational opportunity that is the Apprenti program for women to participate in. And then finally, the education of employers. Like Jen mentioned, employers have a muscle of how they're used to hiring talent. And ultimately, through the Apprenti program, I think we'll have the opportunity to teach employers not only how to find that diverse talent, but how to train it. And it'll be employers' commitment back to the community to learn how to retain it.
So Clay, I want to jump back to, and I know we only have a few minutes, but one of the things that we often hear from employers and from individuals on both sides, we can't find people. Right? We can't find people. What does that mean to you in terms of where the breakage has been?
Yeah, it's I'll say this, right? As a member of one of the minority communities in the country and in the region, that's very frustrating to hear. And I think the breakage comes from it's very deeply rooted, but I think the breakage comes from two things. I think number one, we have a side of the equation where people are looking or believe that they're looking in the right place. But I think we also have a side of the equation where there's people that have given up promoting themselves in that way because of the disparity that has been in existence for the last 50, 60 years or forever, as you could say. So I think it's two sides of the equation that need to be resolved. And, providing opportunities for work is great. And I think what Apprenti is doing is awesome. It's, like I said, it's an awesome start to the solution. I think ultimately what's missing is that, and I'm very careful about using the words equality and equity, right? Equality and equity. And what we are chasing down here with Apprenti, in my opinion, is a very equitable or a very equality-based distribution of the work. And I think that's what we've got to see. I think one thing that's not there that we all have to do a better job of is showing that there is a path to equity. And that's the piece that's missing, right? There is a firm wall there where equity starts, or where equality ends and equity starts. And right now, that path to equity is not clearly illuminated for members of minority communities. It's just not. It never has been, and it still today is not. And so I think the breakdown is there, in that I think that we all need to do a better job of communicating that this is not just about equality and getting a job and getting the same salary and having the same opportunity to walk in the door and go do work every day, but it's also, there is an equitable path to being in an ownership role or in a majorly influential role. And, as we're continuing to grow as a community, as a diverse community, we're seeing the disparity in equity. And none of us are really doing a great job at communicating how we're going to change that. We're all very, very adept now at communicating how we're going to change the equality portion, right? We started that with Rosa Parks back in the 50s, 60s, right? We've been talking about equality since then, but we're still not really able to have the equity conversation. And I think that's a major part of the breakdown, is that I need to know these days, and how I advise young minorities, if you're going to go get a job, you need to make sure that there's an equitable path, right? And a path to equity. And if there's not, you need to think differently. So I think it's just a culmination of all that together. Sorry for such a long answer.
No, it's great. It's great to have you on our advisory team to keep those kinds of issues at the forefront. So I thank you for that. And then I have time for one more question with Haley. And Haley, as a young woman who's been in tech right from the onset of your career, what do you think that is happening in terms of the representation of women in the field of tech and why we are still at a stalemate?
I believe that there needs to be more investment in education. When you think of the women that are entering the workforce, it's not right there that things are getting caught with the quantity. It is in your programming 1 classes. It's in high school, whether you're going to coding camp or not. I believe that we need to get women involved younger, just so they even understand that computer science is an opportunity.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you both for just taking a moment to share your thoughts. We rely on your guidance. As I said earlier, this is Clay Green, who actually is the CEO and founder of his own company, and Haley Maddox, who started her career at Bank of New York Mellon and has matriculated up through, some new opportunities at BNY. So thank you both. Don't go away. I want to wrap up with everyone. So thanks again. So as you've heard today, Apprenti PGH is a valuable and essential program. When you look at the overwhelming need, and we're just talking about our region, we're not talking about the whole world, but right here, Apprenti PGH is providing solutions for the talent gap that exists across the tech ecosystem and the related industries, especially regarding an inclusive talent pipeline. Apprenti PGH is all about securing a life-sustaining job. We are so grateful to the financial contributions that have already been made to help seed our investment for Apprenti PGH from our board chair, Jason Wolf, Patrick Coletti, founder and president of NetHealth. Jason Wolf is a 3-time entrepreneur building yet another company called GIFTJA, and the Richard King Mellon Foundation that also gave us some seed money. These, along with the support that we could not have done it without, is Partner for Work. They have assisted us in launching and thinking about this and pressing us and really having the kind of quality that we know we need to move ahead. And with their experience, we've been able to do that. And as we look forward, we're going to rely on you as well. So now you've heard the details of Apprenti PGH. Many of you who've joined the informational session in this press conference leading up to today, we're having information sessions. We will continue to have information sessions in July. We will share those dates. We're going to continue to have these conversations. If you're a community organization with access to technology, interested individuals, and would be willing to help us in our efforts to recruit, reach out to us. We have lots of partners, but it's really important for this to be a very, very inclusive partnership as well. We don't have all the touch points and we don't have all the answers. So in the days ahead, the commitment that we're making to all of you is that we want this to become a reality. This is a reality. And I look forward to hearing many success stories from both our apprenticeships and our employee partners. We are all going to learn. We are all going to look at this as what I like to talk about as iterative design. It only gets better, and it takes all of us to link arms. So thank you all for joining us, and I know I will be hearing from you all soon. Thank you.